Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. But yeah. I just want to let y'all know I just dragged our sweet little MB Law Trek into the chat, and
Oh,
they are not a streamer, they're a chatter. They've been a chatter in my community for a while, and so just FYI, like it's a lot of like pressure, like being dragged into a conversation with like especially like a bunch of like streamers and stuff. So La Trek,
I'm sorry. I,
you've
I, I
already
just really
done
didn't want to interrupt.
no, you've already done like a hugely brave thing. So I just want to tell you that's not like I'm noted like that's like tough. It's tough.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
tough to be on
You're
like
very
in
sweet.
front of people and talking about this stuff. But Lautrec is our sweet little adorable MB in our community. That I don't. If you're okay with me giving like a very brief introduction, Lautrec, I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
Yep.
go for
Okay.
it.
Lautrec is a closeted NB living in the UK and had experienced some really horrible hostility. What I would qualify. I know you're closeted, but I still think I would qualify as like anti-trans violence.
Mm.
On the what did you call the tram on the
Oh, the
tram
try.
the
Yeah,
tram
the
the
British
tram
concept.
yeah the tram a couple of weeks ago, and it's not the first time, and it's I remember Lautrec saying stuff like, this is why I don't like wear dresses, this is why I don't
Yeah.
do things that are like allowing me to be more actually more outwardly myself. This is why I try to closet and hide myself more, and that is absolutely broke my heart. So I know that Lautrec said that, oh, I don't really know a lot about I'm not really I'm closeted. So it's. I'm like, no. Because you're closeted, I think you can provide an extremely valuable perspective, because
Oh.
because I think it speaks to like just the severity of what the atmosphere of like the transphobic atmosphere is.
Mm.
Because if we see trans people that are not closeted, a lot of us cis people take for granted how much of like a daily decision that is to put yourself out there like that. And and I'm not saying this to like shame you or anything, Lachek. I hope you know this. I'm saying this to show how a lot of people cannot do that, because it is that like it's that
No, of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's that it's not
It's a
safe.
nightmare.
It's a
You
yeah.
you got to go out in the world every day, and it's a world that wants to go to war with you,
Yeah.
and it's fucking terrifying. I'd certainly know I can't do it. There's rules I just have to live my life by in the public eye,
Mm,
where if I were to present in a certain way or look a certain way, I mean, as it is, even as like I hate this term, but cis passing, even
mm-hmm.
as a cis passing person, like I always say to people, like all that means is it just means people aren't transphobic, like to my face. They just do it behind my back, or
Mm-hmm.
they do it to my face, thinking they're in good company.
Mm-hmm.
But like even with that, like there's still just qualities about me that kind of make me a bit of a magnet for that sort of thing. I mean, it's always been
Yeah.
the case, even since school. I've just
Mm-hmm.
never fit into that masculine role, which is what I spent about 25, the first 25 years of my life kind of fighting to desperately fit into.
Mm-hmm. And this is
Um,
one of those intersections between like queerness and like
mm,
patriarchy, where sure, if you are assigned a certain gender at birth, you would imagine that the treatment you get is going to be kind of like this, the standard treatment that everyone assigned that gender gets. But like what you're saying, Latrek, is even though you're trying to still, you know, um, kind of be a little bit more covert about who you are,
mm,
there's still like parts about you, like your gender is your gender. It's so
yeah,
fundamental to your being. It's kind of like people
baked
still.
into my
Yeah, that's
personality.
why I qualify the thing that happened to you on the tram a couple weeks ago as being sorry. The tram
Why
is such a
did you
funny word to
say it
me. I don't
like
know
that?
why. On
The
the tram.
tram.
Um, that's why I qualify the stuff that happened to you on the tram as like being trans
Mm,
violence, because on like I think these assholes were like, this person doesn't fit into the like, for some reason you appear to them in some way as like not conforming to
yeah.
what you should or so quote unquote supposed to conform to. and they
No,
were
they can spot me a
horrible.
mile away.
They were
Even if I'm not in like a loud Hawaiian top or something, like they can see it. They can
yeah.
smell it on me. They know I'm different, and
Uh,
they know that they can have a pop at me. And
yeah.
I mean, for the people in chat, and I guess maybe you two that have seen what I look like, I'm not exactly I'm not exactly someone to be feared. I'm quite passive, and I sort of look passive as well. And so I think it's very easy for people to just think this is somebody that we can abuse,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
they're probably not going to do anything. And they're right. I won't.
mm-hmm,
I'll just I'll just weasel on out and then internalize it and think about it for the next few
mm-hmm,
years. And that's just sort of how I have to like handle things. But
mm-hmm,
that event was a real like it was just a real shaking thing because it's like I mean I guess for the other people like in here that don't know like I essentially I found myself coming home from work. I work for the NHS. It's fucking fantastic. um, I was that's sarcasm. I don't know if it translates, but
mm-hmm.
I was on the tram and these like about 4 or 5, definitely far younger than me people, just came and I was just in a really awkward position. Like the seats in front of me and behind me and to the sides of me were empty, and so these people were just able to surround me, and it was just like an agonizing hour of them just berating me and me just hoping to God they would get off. And at one point it seemed like they were getting off, like they all got out off the seats and got out the tram, and then they all got back on the tram again. It was like a nightmare that just kept going round. And I eventually just had to stand up and push past them and get off at like an earlier stop, and like one of them like threw some stuff at me, and it was just it's
Yeah.
just like the kind of thing where the whole time you're just like, "Oh my god!" But like the point is that like this has happened several times now, and whenever it happens to me, there's always enough time in between that I start to believe that this won't happen again. That I start to believe that it was just a fluke, it was a one-off. There are shit people, shit things happen, whatever, and it just really like helps. It just really helps solidify in my mind that like the way I perhaps may want to look some days or want to dress some days, I just can't really go outside and look like that. I
It's
will just
so
be a magnet for
ridiculous.
this kind of thing, and it's just like
It's like
it's
literally
just the reminder that you're not safe. Like you're just not.
the big ask is that you just want to like wear something that a bunch of assholes are like, I wouldn't wear that. That's literally like, that's all like that's what it that's all it
Mm,
takes to be like persecuted and attacked and like your life threatened or your life actually taken
yeah.
from you. Like this is fucking ridiculous. Honestly, do y'all ever just I mean, do y'all ever just take a second to realize how much effort and how much of our emotions and time and energy is spent fighting against the most absurd things? Like, it is absurd. This is
Mm,
absurd that we would have to fight tooth and nail for the right to for Logic to like be able to just like want to wear something like a dress and like look cute in the way that they want to look cute, and to use their and use the pronouns they want to use. Like, it's not a
mm.
so I don't want to minimize transness as being just a dress and pronouns, but like to these
No,
transphobes,
absolutely.
that's like the
But
thing that
yeah,
they'll like, oh yeah, well that's not allowed. And I think it's more than that. I think they know it's more than that because it's not for them as well. Like the way you were saying that they know that something's different about you, so it's clearly not just like a dress and pronouns. But
it's
it's
emblematic of how it's literally just the bare minimum. It's just so nothing.
yeah.
It's just so like you like, could you just give me this? Can I just have that? Like a dress, please? Like it's you can't even have that. You
Mm-hmm,
have to conform. And if you don't conform, you're a target. And that's
mm-hmm.
just well, I shouldn't say things like that's just how the world is because it's not how it should be, right? But
Yeah,
that's how it
but like at the
feels,
Not how it
moment,
especially
should
in this
be.
country.
mhm.
Not how it should be, but it's how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At the right now, yeah.
I'm trying not to like to like bring like a pessimistic ed. I mean, I know we got to be real about it here, but sometimes I worry that
Mhm,
like speaking on these kind of things might sort of
mhm.
I wouldn't want anyone hearing this
We don't
who
want to
was
doomer
maybe
circle
thinking
jerk.
about like
Mhm,
wearing a dress or something to now think, oh no, and now I can't do that. I don't want
mhm,
to demoralize anyone from being
mhm,
themselves.
mhm. But I think, uh, yeah, I think there is a point where it like becomes like a doomery circle jerk, or you become like a put a loudspeaker to like some really dark feelings, and maybe that's not the best thing, but I do think there is a place for that, because I don't think we're going to be doing ourselves any favors by being like, everything's fine and there's no problems, just please, you know, donate for a good cause. It's a feel good thing. Like, I think people, when I say people, I mean cis people, because let's face it, I don't think trans people need to like learn this stuff, but you know, like I'm talking to cis people right now because I'm cis. I think cis people can really benefit from this, because it is still something that we are engaging with from on the outside. Like, I can sit next to you on the tram, and we can both be on the tram together, and we will be experiencing different realities. Like, I will be, as a woman, I have my, you know, there's things that in this world that threaten me, and a lot of them have the same things that threaten you. But I still have the experience of being a cis woman, and it's what you're telling me is like, it breaks my heart to hear it, but it's important that cis people are aware of what like that monster is, and it's not like a hypothetical, it's not a debate, it's not a like it's not like a bumper sticker, it's none of this like all this commodified, the way that like capitalism has like reduced some real lived experiences down to like slogans and like emotes and stuff. It's not that. It is very, very real, and it's life or death. It is extremely real, and I cannot underline life or death even more than this right now. Look at me.
Oh, absolutely.
Life or death.
It is a death thing. I feel like we don't enough actually talk about how like it is a life and death thing. Like it's like they do want our death, like whether it's by the societal conditions that they like perpetuate in order to get us to you know, Roblox ourselves or whatever, or at the hands of like someone that they've radicalized to go and, you know, get the job done for them.
Stochastic terror, if you will.
It's a nightmare, but it's just like, I don't know. It's these are like the incidents that give me like the hellish anxiety. The things that like I have to like, obviously I've had to like make changes to my life now. I can't get the tram anymore, so I have to get the bus now, which means I've got to walk longer to get to a bus stop, and buses take longer to come, and it takes longer to get home. But I'd rather do that than like feel a little bit safer, you know.
Yeah.
But like there's that like is like the immediate anxiety, and then there's just sort of like the slow boil, the burn that you take from just pretending to be someone that isn't you every day.
That's why, by the way, Lautrec, it means so much to me that you came out as non-binary to our community first. Like,
that's
is such a fucking honor. You have no idea. So I know I interrupted you to say that, so it's a little kind of detracts from my point, but like it means a lot to me.
I love this community. I've been here for what? How long has it been? 2 years now. It's my favorite community. It's my little home. And I don't have to be Luke here. I can be Lautrec, and I like that.
Sweet MB Lautrec, who loves their bubblegum ice cream that they order and it gets delivered to them.
Oh, God.
An ice cream sundae ordered. That's ridiculous.
I think was it Lucid earlier that was saying he didn't, or they didn't like sweet things.
I don't eat that many. Like every now and then, I still like it. I just
I've got such a sweet tooth. I'll kill people for sweet.
I know that's the thing. I do. I just like I try. I know that, and then actively have to like not. You know.
Oh, fair enough. I'm just like I've got like a really fast metabolism, so I'm really skinny. So I never have to worry about like getting.
All right for some.
About sickening up or anything, so I just eat crap all the time. I mean, it's been to my detriment. When I was in university,
work for the NHS. You're like, yeah, I work for the NHS,
God,
and I'm a constant diet of ice cream.
Man, the NHS is. I'm supposed to be like a beacon of healthcare, but I'm out having like a cig every break time, so it's. I don't know.
Okay, I need to say something about these donations. Sidekick donated £100, $100, and $100 to all three organizations. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Sidekick did that. If I'm doing my math right, to hit us over 50,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Total. If doing conversions and whatnot.
Hell yeah! Nani Mouse gave 200 just now to the Good Law Project. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! And then Oh, Nike Noise gave $50 to Good Law Project. Shave the beard. They're doing it for DJ Meal.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
DJ.
so
Yeah.
So if when you donate, you can have the word shave or save
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
DJ Mule's beard.
And then
Well,
like
like
All
GDQ.
up at the end.
Shave is winning at this point, I believe.
Just put
good,
shaving.
Good.
good.
Put
And
shaving.
Bridget,
Oh, no.
the trans teapot. Bridget, the trans teapot just gave $50 to the Southern Equality. So thank you so much.
Aw.
Thank you so much. And sorry your name got cut off, but it's been a hell of a time to getting the tech going, working for this. So please forgive me.
Can I?
Fart knock life for us. Thanks for the $20. Thank you. I think they're from Rob's community.
Can I ask Lord Trek a question?
Yeah.
Go for it.
You say that you now get the bus instead of the tram.
Mm-hmm.
How much time does that add to your journey every day?
Let me think now. It'll take me about an extra 10 minutes to get to the bus, like to the stop from work, than it would have if I was on the tram.
Yeah.
Assuming that, like, I mean, the trams come like every 10-15 minutes tops, but buses, like, once you get to like 7 o'clock, it's like once every half an hour, once every hour. So if I miss the bus, that could be like an extra hour or something. And then the bus itself obviously probably takes an extra 20 minutes compared to like the half an hour-ish the tram takes. So it probably adds somewhere between half an hour to an hour in total to the journey.
And you're doing that there and back. So you're commuting there and back daily.
Yeah, well, sometimes I get a lift in, but I'm almost always on transport on the way back. I work in Manchester, so it's
so merely existing, you are losing up to 2 hours a day of your life.
I try to think of it like that.
And I don't want to depress you. I'm not trying to depress you, but I'm
Oh,
trying.
it's all right.
It's to talk to chat and to the people watching to say, like, these are the things that aren't talked about massively. Like, abuse in the street is one thing, but like just trying to feel safe and just trying to exist as a human being costs money. It costs time. Like it costs friendships. It costs. There is more than just like abuse. And like
absolutely.
And for you, it's between 1 and 3 hours a day of commuting that you lose because you don't want to face that abuse. And these are the choices that people have to make. These are the choices that trans people and other marginalized groups have to make because of society. And it's, again,
that's like life you lose.
Completely.
Like sorry to make it depressing, but I just want to for the sissies watching.
You can't make it any more depressing.
Please do.
Wait. Oh, is that a challenge?
No, like my whole life, like there's been all sorts of moments where it's just you've got to put survival first, and you can't like think about those kind of things. Like I spoke to Strimmer Lady about this before, but like when I was in university, which is when I was at some of my lowest points, I remember first year of uni, oh god, I had some flatmates from hell. It was the kind of deal where like you when you go to uni for the first year, you don't really know where you're going to end up in accommodation, so you just kind of like apply through the university, and they put you in their little university affiliated like a third party dorm room that's you're ridiculously overcharged, and they just kind of put you with whoever. They try to match you with people on the same course as you. But some of the people who I lived with were just it seemed to me like they just lived for drama, like they just their existence, their idea of fun was like getting into arguments with each other and having things to like shit talk each other about. And that of course is a massive source of anxiety for me. So I had to avoid these people like the plague, and it ended up with I spent most of that year in my dorm room, like in my room, and I would, in order to minimize the amount of time that I would leave the room, I would just eat this awful Heinz powdered tomato soup because that was like my meal all the time, because I had a kettle in my room, so I could just like put some of that in a cup and then have this awful soup, and I just eat that, and I just get by with that. and it'd just be like
Oh, you're
that was
you're
just like my
house
life for a
arrest,
year.
basically.
Yeah, but like because I knew that if I left and I went into the kitchen, there's a chance some of them would be there.
It'd be a
It'd be
whole
this awful,
thing,
anxious
true.
moment, and maybe they'd say something. But like even doing that, even trying to avoid them all as much as possible, and just trying desperately, and never seeing anything bad to them, never doing anything bad to them. Just the act of trying to stay separate was like an offense to them. And like
I'm sure
they'd
it
get
was.
incredibly drunk, and you'd hear them like shouting and raving about us, and it'd just be it you just have to make these decisions that just put you first, even if it's like sort of to your own detriment, just trying to like avoid the greater evil of like just constantly being in like what's the word, brain boggling, mind shatteringly anxious moments to avoid yourself from having a breakdown essentially.
Thank you
And
for
Lotric,
Lotric. I really appreciate you sharing all this stuff with us. And
It's
before
all right.
you
I've
say
got a
something,
million terrible tales.
oh, we can keep going. I don't want to. 1 second, Laura. I just want to thank Cupcakes for giving $100.
Oh God,
to Southern
we
Equality.
derailed that. Sorry.
No. Cupcakes. Thank you for $100 to Southern Equality. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's very, very generous of you. I don't know if you're watching this stream, but thank you so much if you are.
just claim it as yours, Kira.
I did that.
Yeah, it's this stream. It's a viewer from this stream.
Oh yeah, thank you, my viewer Cupcakes. Wow, wow. Bellamy wants to hop on. That's fine. Bellamy can hop on. And by the way, Nicotine and Lucid had to leave because I think they had to do their Suck Sunday show where they make fun of a movie, which is like extremely entertaining to watch. So I recommend it. But yeah, they had to step out. But they say thank you very much, everyone. And then they said something shitty about Husker, but I'll tell y'all later.
Oh, I love how Husker's a bit. I feel kind of bad for him that he
I do
becomes a bit of a
too, but
punching bag.
I think I can't even. I don't know what to do with him because I think he like on a level. I think he does enjoy it, but at a certain point, I'm sure it becomes like too much. And I'm like, it's hard to. I always try to check in with him. I'm like, okay, are we still good? Which again is also like a question that he might feel pressure to be like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, we are. You know, people are.
I
We
can't
love
tell.
Husker.
I've
We
ripped
love you,
into
Husker,
him in
yeah.
that video.
Bellamy's here. My God.
I am. And
Hello,
folks-
Bellamy.
Hi, dear. And folks were sharing things, and I'm gonna cry, and it's fine.
Oh,
Aww.
can I give you a hug?
I don't actually like being touched that much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
like a metaphorical hug, you know?
Yeah, of course.
A hug
No,
in
but
theory.
like, I think people in the community might view me a certain way, you know? Like, they see me as this, like, capable person, but I wanted to come in here and say this because Laura was talking about what it's like every day. And I really want to put weight on what it is that she said. I don't leave my home. I am fortunate enough that I have money enough to get the things that I need. I'm fortunate enough that I have the clothes I can use to hide my body. I can grow my beard if I need to. I can put on a mask to make it harder to see me. But I don't leave my home. I can't get involved in my community in the way that I want to. I can't help the black people that I want to help because I'm afraid of what's going to happen to me. I feel stuck in here. I can't do my fucking research the way that I would want to do my research because I'm afraid to be around people. This is every day for me. I wake up, I see I've had to turn this into my fucking sanctuary because if it weren't, the trigger warning, I'd try to fucking kill myself again. And I've tried it 3 times now, so this would be number 4.
I'm so sorry, Bellamy.
I mean, I don't say that because I want people to be sorry, but I appreciate the sympathy. I know what you're saying. I'm saying that because I want people to know what we fucking deal with. And I consider myself fortunate. I want people to understand that I consider myself fortunate. that I could pay rent and stay in here if I need to. I consider myself fortunate that I don't date men. Because I don't have to worry about them fucking murdering me. Because they feel icky that they slept with a trans woman. I'm not dark-skinned. I don't have the problem that my dark-skinned siblings have. And this is like... It's insane. Excuse me. It's wild that I consider myself fucking fortunate. that I have to drive a car every day to avoid going on public transit so I don't have to deal with violence. And I can fight. I know how to fight. But I am just tired. I'm
On the
so
bars at that point where it's
tired.
lucky you're not brutalized. That's yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
like
Fuck all
what
of
kind
that.
of like I look at other trans women that deal with so much shit and more shit than I do. And I feel like a fucking peon compared to the people
No.
that are out there every day. And not, but it's not to insult myself. It's to say that like it's the shit that people deal with for doing something so and it's not just wearing a dress. It's not. I mean, I don't even fucking like dresses. I'm butch. I like being butch. I think it's fucking cool. Oh, the weird thing that happened was when I started taking estrogen, I felt more comfortable doing masculine shit. But for something so simple as putting on a fucking dress, like you have to face like fucking murder. Like, what is that? Like, how fucking like what is that? Like, what goes on in your mind? I mean, I know what goes on. It's what I fucking study. It's my goddamn job. I understand it. But like, on a deeply human level, you're like, what the fuck? Like, for what? Like, you can do literally anything else than that. Like, anything else. You can go to McDonald's if you want to instead of fucking traumatizing us. All right, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna tell you something to make this really fucking real. Dominique Fowles is a black trans woman. She's a dark-skinned black trans woman. I live in the city of Philadelphia. I've said it a million times. I don't care. Come find me if you really have a problem. I've been through more shit than you could probably fucking imagine. I've seen people get blown to pieces. Try me. Dominique Fowles is a black trans woman, and she was murdered by a man that we don't really know the exact circumstances because again here we are intersecting fucking oppressions. He probably feels like he's gay so he can't say what it is he was doing with this woman, and that's not to absolve him of the heinous fucking thing I'm about to describe. Trigger warning for some really fucking awful stuff, chat, just so you know. But it like it fucking trickles down. But this man stabbed this woman upwards of 20 times as far as I know, cut her into pieces, and then tossed her in the river. And her body washed up within. Now, this is going to sound crazy for those of you, or sound wild for those of you that aren't in the United States, but a half-hour walk is really, it's typical in a city. There's nothing for us, so it's it's not a big deal. But her body washed up a half hour's walk from my house. I can walk to where her body washed up. And that's why I don't go outside.
Christ.
And she did nothing but fucking. She was. Everybody described her as like this beautiful, lovable person who just like wanted to bring joy to people. And this is what happens because what? Why? Why? Like, what's the fucking reason? For what? Because people aren't allowed to be themselves? That's it? That's what we're gonna say? It's a mark of human ingenuity and resilience that I have any hope for the future at this point. Because I do. Maybe you can call me naive, but I do. But by all accounts, I should not.
This is why when we say life or death, it's not a euphemism, or it's not hyperbole.
No.
And I know for a lot of cis people, or particularly cis, like white het dudes in particular, you know, like a lot of these like a lot of what we're talking about almost doesn't feel that real, but it is. And for me, even if you're not in that group, sometimes it still doesn't feel like it could be real. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? That's like a weird one-off that could never. That's not like a thing. That's like actually everywhere, where trans people all over the world are experiencing this to such an extent that now they're like barricading themselves inside their own homes if they can have, like Bellamy was saying, if they have the quote unquote privilege of having a home, which it is a privilege, but I shouldn't have to. It's absurd that we have to frame things like that. It is. It's just fucking evil. I've been using that word a little bit more lately, and I normally don't, but like some of the things that we've been discussing, I feel like the word absurd is not enough. It is absurd, but this absurd is like, you know, something, it feels like it's a silly. But this is like
it couldn't be real.
Yeah,
but it is real.
It's fucking real.
It's dystopian.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, bizarrely cruel. And that cruelty isn't like a one-off. It's a pattern, it's a system, and it's everywhere to all trans people. That's why this is a world. Right now, this fundraiser is spanning the 3 continents, for the record: New Zealand, UK, and North America. And we're talking to people from all over the world. Everyone's dealing with this shit. Every trans person is, you know, there's different ways, different flavors, different laws, so on and so forth. And I'm not trying to say this to be doomer. I'm trying to say this so we understand that the shit that Bellamy is talking about, it's not like Bellamy's neighborhood is a bad neighborhood or something. And there's some
fine.
weird guys living in there.
It's actually a really fucking nice neighborhood.
It's a nice neighborhood. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Literally a nice. It is one of the nicest neighborhoods in the city, and that's what's so wild about it.
Yeah.
Well, I say wild because, like, you know what, the things that exist in the city exist for a fucking reason, and they're not accidental.
Yeah.
But for the white people in the audience, I'm using your fucking language. This is a nice area. I shouldn't have to worry about this.
It just all feels so overpowering.
Yeah.
It is every. And this is like, and this isn't to like, I'm not trying to victimize myself, but this isn't new to me, by the way. I came out a few years ago, but I've been Black for my entire fucking life. This is not new. This is just literally. It's not exactly the same thing, but it is literally just the same thing. Someone put it in a fucking copy machine, and when I came out, they slapped it right on top of the other one that I had. It's twice now. I get to deal with this. Oh, and I'm disabled, so I got that too. So there's a third layer.
Woman.
And it's
woman.
a fucking woman. Like, it's just I feel like I have every possible fucking marshmallow. It is a miracle that I am not living in literal poverty right now.
It's one of the reasons I so appreciate our friendship. Like, I know it sounds like, I hope it doesn't, it sounds kind of like objectifying-y kind of, but like, because of the nature of your marginalization, you've afforded me such a fucking, like, your perspective is something that has like thoroughly enriched my perspective, and it's something that I can never I'll never be able to like really show you how much it means to me. And your friendship is also like everything together. You as a person, like you are. Sorry, I know you don't like this type of shit. I'm gonna cut it out, but I love you.
No, it's okay.
I love you,
I'm
Bellamy.
learning. I'm learning to
I know.
to accept these things. I don't
You're a
like
very humble
shoulds,
person, and that's good.
but
But sometimes
I'm learning to.
I want you to
accept.
know that you also have like you are a very, very valuable person, not just to me.
Thank you.
Like I feel like inherently. I know we also don't like the word inherently, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Bellamy, there's something that stuck with me that you said,
Yeah.
which was that you were like a peon. Your experiences didn't compare to others, which something that I tell myself that all the time, that I've got such a level of privilege, but actually what I wanted to say to you was your lived experience is completely valid, and your struggles and the things you go through that make up your lived experience are the feelings that you have are completely valid, and you shouldn't be discounting that because other people have it worse. Your lived experience is yours and it's important, and I see you, and I love you, and I hope you know that people aren't looking. I'm not looking at you going, well, Bellamy's not got it as bad as this person, so I don't care. That's not a thing.
Well, thank you for saying that, dear. I tried not to like discount. It wasn't. I perhaps should have chosen a different word. Although maybe I'm telling the truth. Maybe that's how I feel sometimes. I don't know.
That's how I feel sometimes, and it's hard to tell myself different. And like, and if I feel like other people do, and I wanted you to know that your lived experience is valid.
Well, thank you, dear.
Absolutely.
Thank you for saying that.
To live in defiance of this world is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I think that's like the thing that transphobes find to be so infuriating.
That's actually why I would. That's the real reason I wanted to come on here, was to say that to you, Law Trek. Don't ever call yourself cispassing, dear. You're hiding. You're hiding because you have to. This isn't. You don't pass.
I'm LARPing. That's what I'm doing.
That's not a thing. You're hiding. So all right, this is. We'll do my typical fucking thing that I always have to fucking do when I get on here and I talk. We'll do a very tiny bit of theory so you understand what this means.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Hit me with it. Let's get it. Let's have it. Let's have it.
There is a theme called passing among Black people, right? Where what they do is they hide themselves, right, in a sense, but it's not that you're just doing something specific in the way you're presenting. It's that you're cutting off all of the previous connections you had to your Blackness. Trans people might know this as going stealth, right? Where you slide into society and you assimilate, and then because you can pass. You're not doing that. You're hiding. You're protecting yourself. You haven't cut yourself off from who you are or who you used to be. You're literally hiding who you are. So you don't deal with the fucking violence, and still manage to, because of course.
It's I can't really put into words what it feels like to be among people and they'll start using slurs and they'll start laughing, and I have to laugh as well, because if I don't laugh, they'll all know. They'll all know there's something that even if they don't like immediately like think, oh yeah, it's because they're trans. Like they'll know that like I'm at least like sympathetic, you know, and that
yeah, honey, I am.
I've just got to grin and laugh too. And you know what? I think I convince them all pretty well. The people I work with, I do honestly think I've got them all fooled, and it's to my benefit. I've gotten a new job in the same department recently, and the person who I took over for, who's left now, was incredibly right wing. In fact, he used to sit at the desk and watch these awful, like, they weren't Sargon of Akkad, but they were like that kind of like level of like, you know, YouTubers, and he'd like loudly agree with like the stupid things people would be saying in the YouTube comments. And I would just have to just, as part of my job, when I'd be like having to be near him, I just have to sit around him and just have to like kind of just giggle and laugh and nod along and just kind of quietly smile and at best pretend to be apolitical. And but I mean, by the end of it, by the time he left, I think he considered me to be someone that agreed with him. So it was like, in some senses, it was to my benefit, right? Because it means I didn't have to. It means my anxiety wasn't being set off every single. Because if I was in a situation where there was someone I worked with that I had an argument with, it would make every day coming into work hell. My stomach would just be flaring up. I'd be throwing up. I'd be stuck in the toilet. So it's almost preferable to just deal with this transphobia than do that. But it has this long-term boiling effect, like just on your soul. It just burns your soul away as you're just having to come in and endure this and laugh along with it. And it's
I think
really fucks you up.
It's a nightmare. That's like a nightmare shit right there, honestly.
Genuinely feel like most of us in here could probably relate to that. In on some axis, because I mean, all right, hon. So I'm black, and my father, because Philadelphia school district schools, especially when I was younger, were not great, and would drive me out to go to school in a white school district. I was in the United States. I was in the military. Don't join the military, kids. It'll break you. I am an example. Don't do that. But I know what you mean, because your options are to push back and to be the only one pushing back, to not say anything and potentially risk being interrogated, or to literally laugh at yourself, because that's what you're doing. To literally laugh at yourself for the sake of getting along, and sometimes to even actively make fun of yourself, because I've done that too.
Yeah. You've got to like offer, like, it's not just enough to laugh along with it. You've
It's
got
like
to
a pound of
offer up
flesh.
like your own little
Yeah.
like
It's like
commentary towards it to show that you're cool, you know?
cutting a bit of yourself off and
Yeah.
tossing it on the pyre, so you don't have to deal with the backlash. It is a blackening of the soul that I don't think I am capable of describing, and for lack of a better word, and thank fuck for my therapist, but for lack of a better word, it turned me into a fucking monster. And I don't mean that lightly. I've hurt people.
I'm glad you could come out the other side.
Yeah.
Likewise.
It took a lot, but this is what happens.
Yeah.
They turn you into the monster that they think you are.
The thing is, like, the NHS on an institutional level, like every day we get emails sent to our like work emails about, you know, LGBT this, pride that. I've my work lanyard's a little like gay flag one that like they gave out to all of us, and you know they have these little posters in the staff room and all this stuff. And really, I'm well within my right to like go to my line manager and say, hey, these people are saying these things around me. I'm not too happy about it. But the thing is, if I were to do that, nothing would actually fundamentally change within my workplace other than the fact I would have now outed myself.
Yeah.
You ever get bullied in school and they say like, well, have you been bullied? Just go tell the teacher. Well, now they know you've told the teacher. Now they're going to come after you. Like, you know, it doesn't change anything. It's purely like, I shouldn't say it's purely a cultural thing. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with the NHS when it comes to transphobia, as I'm sure we're all aware. But there's like, it's just because of the societal element of it that's so prevalent in so many people and grows in, should I say cesspool, like a cesspool in my department where it just is just okay to say those kind of things. There's just not really any answer to it other than move away or stay and endure. And because of my anxiety, you know, I've been in this department for 2 years, aside from the time they redeployed me during the pandemic, which is a whole other story. I don't really have it in me to like go and find another department and like, you know, meet everyone again and go back to being the new person that everyone doesn't really like again and make all those bonds again and earn a good reputation all over again and all that shit. So I'm kind of stuck here. Like, if things ever got like really, really, really bad, it's not like I couldn't leave, but yeah, I'm incredibly disincentivized by my own mental illness from leaving. So it just becomes a game of endurance. Sorry, I just realized it's been me talking majoritively for like the past
I don't.
hour.
You talk. I don't give it. It doesn't really matter who it has or hasn't been. Honestly, it's not worthy of sussing it out. Talk. Fuck it.
Yeah, this is a really important conversation. Everything that's being said is stuff that really needs to be said, so please.
It's just such a fucking nightmare.
It is.
I know we all know this, but it's just.
I don't know. Some people don't. Maybe some people don't understand. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant like in the call. I guess there's people listening that
yeah,
don't know.
but like, you know, honestly, I'm learning stuff, and you know, believe it or not, I don't know everything. Like, I'm starting to realize that,
What?
despite the rumors, I don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, let's see. Sophie says we're currently worn between shave and save campaigns. By the way, my chat is pro shave now.
Yeah, we should be
Oh.
pro shave as well. To be fair.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
I want to torture a mule. Be fun.
Oh.
what's the chat? So is it equal between the two?
I don't know actually. I'm not
What's the
actually sure
count?
where we're at. Someone has to check out
Well, you know
Mule's
what?
stream.
We you know this is so. I'll use a military. I'll use a military analogy. Excuse me. Respond with overwhelming force. So assume we are losing shavers and let's fucking donate.
Is Mule gonna look
Because-
like 10 years younger without a beard?
I don't
Has
know.
anyone,
I don't
have any of
know.
us seen him without one?
I want to know what Mule looks like without the beard.
I'm kind of
honestly.
terrified, to be honest.
I think it'll be like Pulp Fiction, and you won't be able to see it. It'll just be a glow.
Oh,
If you're gonna donate £10 or £20 or £30 or dollars, why don't you do it in chunks of $3 or $2 at a time with the word shave?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Over and-
It's
Why
Yeah,
not?
they do a total.
It's
They
amounts.
total up
It's
the
amounts.
amounts.
Oh come on. Okay, fine.
Oh, why? Because you just want to,
Laura.
like
Yeah.
scam. You want to scam
Laura,
the
is it
system.
you?
Oh
Change the
no, you can't scam the
system.
system. Now we have to raise more money for trans kids. Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
more money,
alright.
please.
oh no. Well,
So now I want to do the thing that I always do, and to shift things into a hopeful direction, because I don't like to do the doomer shit. It is soul blackening. But this one's gonna be bittersweet, I guess. Bittersweet, maybe, I don't know.
I'm here for
Two-edged
it. Let's
sword.
have it.
To all the trans people in this room and all the trans people that are listening, we can only hide for so long because they're coming for us. We're already in danger. And I've made the decision over the course of this fundraiser and the past few weeks that that's gonna happen anyway. So if they're gonna do it, then what additional risk am I even assuming by stepping out there and fighting back? It's gonna happen anyway. They've made that very, very clear. We're already in danger. Actively, right? That's why we feel like we must hide. That's why we feel the need to stay in our homes and to drive our cars. But that's an illusion. It's not real, it's not permanent, it's not something that they even want us to have. And they've made it clear is when they feel like they have a win, they take another step. When they feel like they get a win, they take another step. They're going to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They want us afraid.
So it's like what Sophie said. It's almost not a choice,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I'm almost kind of mad at myself for forgetting this, because I learned this from a lifetime of being Black, and I think maybe I got a little bit too comfortable, like having enough money to pay my rent and go to school before I came out as trans. You have, I don't want to say nothing because that's not true, but like you have very little to lose, because they're coming anyway. They're coming anyway. So for me, if I'm gonna die, and that's a euphemism, right? And it's not to say that that's literally what's going to happen, but it might. I mean, I will die, but you understand what I mean in this context. If I'm gonna die, then you know what? I'm gonna do it on my fucking terms. It's my life. So for me, and me only, I'm not telling other people that this is what you need to do. I'm not saying this to tell you that you should feel guilty if you don't, because I don't like guilting people. I think it's fucking pointless. For me, they're coming anyway. They're coming anyway. So I'm gonna die on my feet.
Thank you, Bellamy.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
dear.
Yeah, thank you.
Bellamy, you said that this was going to be like the upper part of your speech.
Well, there's something about, and this is why I consider it the upper. There's something about fighting for yourself and fighting for other people that is so incredibly rewarding that I don't think I'm capable of telling you how good that feels. Knowing that you stepped out there, not because you wanted to have the glory, not because you wanted to be the person that did the thing. You don't want the big name, you don't want the whatever. You did it because you care about the people that you're doing it for. I don't know how to describe that feeling.
This is something I try to describe with veganism to people, and I'm like, I don't know how to describe it without and it's obviously everything has a specific flavor, you know, how it works. But I'm like, it's hard for me to describe it without getting into like some sort of like a spirituality type thing, because I'm not trying to be.
I mean, that's literally what it is, though. Like, that's all right. So another,
it's like I don't believe in, like we were saying the other day. We don't believe in. You and I don't believe in souls, but like for lack of a better word, like your soul, like it does something for your soul.
Literally. So I want you, and I want to show you like what we're dealing with too on top of this. But in the military, right? That's exactly what I thought I was doing. No, I didn't kill anybody. Fortunately, I've never had to deal with that fucking hell. But the idea that I was doing something meaningful for other people, even though I wasn't, I was literally just a fucking agent of death, right? Like that was my job. I didn't literally kill anyone, but that's what I was there for. I was there to help people kill people. But when you feel like you're doing something good for other people, there's this like invigoration that I'm incapable of describing to you. Now imagine if instead it weren't fucking some weird bastardized patriotism nonsense, and it were just you literally doing it for your fucking neighbors. People that you see every single day, that know your name, that you know, that you help, that help you. And it doesn't need to be, like Sophie said, it doesn't have to be the big, grand gesture thing. When you do it every day, consistently, over and over and over again, there's this like, intimacy is the only word that I have to describe that connection that you develop with other people when you're doing something over and over and over again. And it's the only thing that I truly crave, having been out of the military for many, many years now, because that was what we were doing. That was the fun part. It wasn't the fucking going overseas. It wasn't any of the other shit. It was waking up every day with a group of people and doing stuff with them with the understanding that we're doing it together. It is intensely rewarding in a way that I don't have the words to tell you
You know
what
what?
that type of intimacy feels like.
It's so
Because
funny. You have to
feel
like,
this like deep connection to other people.
yeah. Like it's funny that like you're trying to describe something that is so fundamental to like humanity that us at the same time we have not experienced it very much or if at all. Like that's how, I mean, I think everyone in this community, everyone watching right now can probably agree that you're kind of a miserable person. You're not like as a personality, but like you're fucking miserable, right? Like we're all
Fucking
miserable,
get him,
right?
Kira.
We're all
No,
miserable.
but genuinely, like this sucks. Everyone, this sucks.
This sucks.
We know this sucks.
We're
It
all fucking
fucking
miserable.
sucks.
We're all also missing that extremely fundamental part of our humanity that Bellamy is describing. And to watch Bellamy be like, how do I describe it? It's like describing what it is to like be fulfilled. Like, how do you fucking say that? How do you describe a fulfillment? How do you describe like fundamental?
I don't know
like
how
fundamental
to tell you what that feels like. I genuinely don't know what to tell you, how that feels like. But to know that you did something for another person for the sake of that, and for no other reason, is a feeling that is just so fucking profound. And you know what? And it's gonna sound so silly, but you get it from like the tiniest fucking things. I bring the garbage cans in for my neighbors. That's what I did. It's easy. It literally requires like no effort. I mean, I have ADD, so it actually requires a little bit of effort, but it requires like no meaningful effort, right? And it's such a small thing. It's so silly.
And it's free.
But it's free. It costs me nothing, and it feels good every time I do it.
I
Every
really
time I
wanna
do
just
it.
sorry. I just really want to build on that, and just just do a little low key advocacy for healthcare. If you if you're thinking of a change of vocation, this goes out to anyone. I would really, really, really recommend working in healthcare if you want to feel that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I've worked in healthcare for 2 years now, but just to rewind the clock a little bit, the year is what was it? Was it 2020?
Lautrec. I have the
I'm
sense
so
that
sorry.
you're gonna go off on something, and I want to let you go.
I know.
I wanna let
Oh
you do
God,
it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No. Before you do, I wanna real quick make my point.
Absolutely. Oh God, I didn't know I was interrupting. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
You didn't
Sorry, go ahead.
interrupt. I was actually.
So cute. I'm gonna squish
I was
you.
actually like, all right, I'll let Lautrec go, and then when they're done, I'll go.
Oh
But
no,
I'm like,
no,
I'll
no,
bring
I'm
the
like, now go
story.
back in
They're gonna tell
time.
a story. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
go
one
for
of
it.
you
Sorry,
go.
All right. You Laura.
Go, Vel, you go.
This is the example of what communism is gonna look like. It's gonna be a mess. No one's gonna. You go.
The point of me telling that little silly little thing, right? Taking the garbage cans in, and I get that reward every time I do it. It feels good every time I do it. Imagine what it feels like to do something more meaningful. Imagine what it feels like to make food as a part of community. Maybe that's the thing you do. Maybe you become the food person, or maybe you organize a cleaning service, right? Maybe you work with your community, and you figure out that people want help cleaning, so then the group of you go around and clean folks' houses, so then that frees everyone up, right? They can do more things. They can give back. Maybe they do the cooking then, and then, oh shit, there's more people free, and well, there's a house down the street that needs repairing, and we know it needs repairing, and there's a whole bunch of us that have a whole bunch more time now because this other group of people have been helping us. Maybe we go fix this person's house, right? And well, shit, we know that there are people outside that are houseless. Now this house is fixed and there's extra room, and they're really grateful. And then we're putting these houseless people in this home so they have a place to sleep. And it's this reproductive thing that happens. And it can feel so rewarding when it's a group of you doing it
Mhm.
together, and it's a group of you doing things that you all have decided to do together. You are capable of doing this today. You can do it today, and it's what the Black Panthers did. You know what they did? They walked out into their community and they started knocking their doors, and they said, "What do you need?" And you know how powerful this is? It is powerful enough that the United States government established an entire fucking program to squash it.
Hmm.
COINTELPRO was not afraid of black people with guns as much as they were afraid of black people solving their own fucking problems. That's why that happened. Black people with guns don't necessarily scare the state so much as black people not needing the state anymore.
Black people have guns now, and the state does not act the same as when the Black Panthers armed themselves. Like, that was a different
Literally.
story.
That was
It's a very
and you
different story.
know why it was a different story? It's because they had a fucking breakfast program. They started teaching kids. They started schools. They started an ambulance service and drove people to the hospital when they needed help. Shit like this that makes you not dependent on the system that exists is a bigger threat than a person with a gun will ever be. There's Monica White. I fucking love this book and I recommend it to everyone every time. Freedom Farmers by Monica White details what she calls everyday resistance, and this is exactly what we're talking about. This is the stuff that revolutions are built on, and it's why the state comes down on this stuff so hard. Farmers in the American South post-Reconstruction, I've probably told this story again, but I'll tell it. They grew food for each other and established co-ops. That's what they did. That's literally, they were growing fucking food. Chat, they were growing food. I want you to understand how benign this sounds and how absurd the response to it is. They were growing food. And the cops would pull over and just as like a really small example to show you the lengths to which they would go to deal, quote unquote, deal with this. The cops would pull over produce and refrigerator trucks until they ran out of gas, so the food spoiled.
Unbelievable.
Can we take a second and just say ACAB in case you're
Cab,
new?
a
In
cab.
case
Clearly.
you're new to
Absolutely.
this community, or you
Fuck
need a
cops.
reminder, or you're a little bit of a shit lib, all cops are bad. It's for the reasons, even your uncle, is for the reasons, I don't want to make this a thing, get too derailed, but this is fundamentally going to be part of every single fucking struggle. Every single struggle for marginalized people's liberation will necessarily have to acknowledge ACAB, because when we're talking about like bathroom bans, when we're talking about kids being taken from their families because their families are, God forbid, allowing them to be trans, when we're talking about trans panic laws, like all of these things have to be enforced, or look, those that do the enforcing and the backing of the bigots, this is the cops. This is, I don't want to go too theory. Think this in such a
Well, that's
theory
not even
direction,
theory.
but
That's literally what they do. That's not even theory. That's
Literally.
just true.
no, yeah. When I
That's
say
just
theory,
true.
I don't mean yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah. So
That's what they do. That's their fucking job.
yeah. Yes.
But
Anyways,
I
sorry.
really
ACAB.
want to drive this home for you all before I take off. Just, you are going to do more toward creating a better society by doing simple shit like fucking feeding people, by giving people places to live, by giving them water and clothing. You are going to do more to create and this is pure opinion on me, but I think there are some people that share this opinion. You are going to do more to fight back, so to speak, by just creating the world you want than you're ever going to by directly fighting some bigot. You are going to do infinitely more to
Yeah.
improve lives, to put people in positions where they don't feel like they have to fucking hide, by just doing things that create the society you want to see. And you have to want it. If you don't want it, I mean, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what you're supposed to want or what you're not supposed to want, but if you do want it,
It's not fine, actually.
Ask yourself, if you do want to ask yourself, what am I doing to make it happen?
Mm.
What can I do to make it happen? Think about what you're good at. What are you good at? Can I use this? How can I use this? Because you can. I promise you, you can. How can I use this? Literally, just like be yourself on purpose.
And Bellamy, it's a good segue. What can you do? 2 of the charities are at 16,000.
Oh, that's true. You can
Gender
get
and
money right now.
Intelligence is £164 away from also being at 16,000. So if you're listening, what can you do to making a better society? I don't know. Give Gendered Intelligence some money, please. So I couldn't miss that opportunity.
No, that's you are you and Nicotine both are masters of timing and production.
That's why I feel like they need to have a battle because they're both like excellent.
Honestly, they
producers.
should.
But
I
like, in different-
think
like, in
we
slightly
should.
different ways, you know. Well,
We
not
should have
slightly.
like a totally not artificial at all duel between the two of them that maybe drums up some sort of you know,
Yeah, to the death.
some sort of
Think of the
what's
hype.
the word? It starts with a P. Some sort of what? Publicity. I
Are you
think it's
saying
called?
we should have a creator boxing match?
Well, I wouldn't quite say
I
that, but you know,
mean,
nothing draws attention like a good old fashioned feud.
maybe like jujitsu or something.
How about a love
Something a little less
triangle?
striking.
So what I should do is see
I'll be in the
what you
love
think is I should-
triangle. I'll you two can fight over me. I think that would be fun.
Okay.
I hear debate streams are all the rage these days.
I'm gonna.
Ooh.
Oh,
You know
what?
that would actually be really good to
Oh,
do some sort of
Nikita.
a debate stream spoof.
That's
That would be
right.
fucking amazing.
Nikita and well, listen, we will have a mass debate. We will mass debate live on stream. That's what we will do.
Okay, I have to, I
Shit
need to,
joke.
Bellamy,
I need to
Bellamy's-
get my kitty medication. So
Yeah, Bellamy
I-
needs to go. That's why. Yeah, they need to go. Or she needed to go like half hour ago probably.
well, I'm a she they, so they's fine.
Okay,
Actually,
okay,
they
okay.
both feel nice. So.
Oh, okay.
I just needed to. I just want to jump in here quickly and give Bellamy more practice accepting our love and compliments because Bellamy, I fucking love you so
I
much.
love you too,
You are
dear.
just, you're so wonderful and you have such a presence. And I could listen to you talk for hours about anything. You could be talking about, I don't know, the most bland cereal ever, and I'd be here for it. But I also, you know, many of us do regard you as a very strong person, but you're allowed not to be. You're allowed to feel broken and you're allowed to feel scared. And I really appreciate you talking to us about experiencing those feelings and being real with us. And that's just one of the many, many things I admire about you. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's a
dear.
privilege,
So well
Bellamy.
said.
Thank
So
you,
well said.
everyone. You all, I love all of you, except for chat. Fuck you, chat.
Right. That's right.
Everyone have
Got him.
a wonderful day, and I don't know. I have too much work to do, but we'll see if I'll be back later. But donate money, or I'll hate you more.
Big love to you,
Goodbye,
Bellamy.
goodbye, everyone. Love
Goodbye,
you.
Big love to
Bellamy.
you.
Thank you so much, Bellamy.
Blotchak, were you gonna say something? Do you remember what you were gonna say?
Oh,
Is it still
God.
alcohol? Like, what's going on?
Oh, you mean where I was? Oh dear, I was Oh God, that was embarrassing. Bellamy was in the middle of something
only
very, very
embarrassing if
important,
you're
and I was
like
like,
It's only embarrassing if you're a chatter and you're like, oh no, something unscripted, not perfect happened, and that must be the end of the world. And it's not the end of the world. You've seen,
just
you
like
watch
the
my
idea of,
stream. Look how much, like, come on.
I love the idea
Yes.
of Bellamy saying something really, really moving and motivational, and I come in the middle and say, right, enough of that. Time to talk about
No,
me now.
It was fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I was just going to build on. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go on.
go ahead. I was gonna say, go ahead, Blotchak.
I was just going to build on what she was saying. Oh crap, is that the right pronouns? I should have memorized them. I think it was they, them, was it?
She, they.
She,
She,
they.
they. Okay, thank God. I knew it in the back of my brain.
Well, we all
What she
know if
was
you get
saying
the wrong
about
pronouns, then it's over. Like you,
yeah, they burst
yeah.
into flames.
yeah, you just blow up. So everyone, please, for the love of God, get people's pronouns right.
They come around, they take your toes.
Your
But
toes will, they'll take them.
yeah, they'll take your toes. What was it now? I think I want to build on what she was saying about just about that intimacy of working with your community, that sort of building toward. I mean, we're all tying the socialism stuff in now, aren't we? But um, around about 2020, I'd been working in healthcare for about 2 months, I think. I was a trainee nursing assistant working in operating theatres when the pandemic kicked off, and we were all immediately redeployed to other places. And I found myself redeployed to the front lines, to the Nightingale. There were several Nightingales set up across England. They were like field hospitals that were made to accommodate like the overflow of patients that were coming in.
Oh no, they're probably awful.
And well, here's the thing. So I'm a trainee nurse. I'm a trainee, right? On minimum wage. I don't know anything. The job that I normally have is working in operating theatres, not on wards. So, of the little information I do know, it's nothing to do with this. And all of a sudden, I'm thrown in at the deep end. And if you've been to Manchester, it was where it was where the GMEX Centre is. They pulled it all down now. They had a Tory party conference there afterwards, but we were all redeployed there, and it was the situation we were in, especially during the second phase of the pandemic, was we had tons of patients and basically no staff. It would be about 10 patients to like one nursing assistant and maybe two nurses. So I'd come in at 7:30 for my shift, and there'd be 10 patients, and it would be up to me and me alone to make sure all these 10 patients were up, dressed, washed, taken care of. And these were all patients that were they were sort of on the arse end of COVID, so they were coming out of it. They weren't COVID positive anymore, but they had a lot of they were like suffering from long COVID. Their bodies had been racked. Physio team had assessed them all that they all needed multiple people to help moving about. They all needed a lot of their needs being taken care of. Many of them had mental health problems, and we were just in the deep end. But there were so few of us that you found yourself in these situations where like every single one of us, like all the staff, we'd all had moments of like finding each other crying in the bathroom and stuff. But like, if you were to just say, I can't do this is too much, and just go home, like the one other nursing assistant there would now have 20 patients to take care of. So like quitting wasn't an option. It just wasn't. You just had to kind of like get on with it. But what I found was not just that it was an absolute privilege to care for these people, but in these kind of situations when you're working with people on such an intimate level, such like when you're caring for people so like genuinely and truly, and there's no way you could be there just for a paycheck at this point. You're there because you care. And just going into it like I'm gonna like content warning gross, but like before I like came there, like I'd never like had to take care of any kind of patients and do anything to do with like feces or pee or vomit or anything like this. But a lot of these patients, you just had to get stuck in. They would just go to the toilet on themselves, and you just have to get in there and just clean it up. And it really it feels weird to follow that sentence with this, but there really wasn't any feeling quite like it, to care for people like that on such an intimate level. And it just really reinforcing what Bellamy was saying about like that feeling of being alongside like your comrades, your fellow people, and just caring and just working with them, not for any like ulterior motive or any other incentive, just purely for that aspect of love and of getting something done. There really is nothing like it, and you'd be surprised with what you can do if you've never worked in healthcare before. When I first went into that, I would gag at like the sight of some of the things, and by the end of it, I was like turning to other people and saying to my colleagues, do you want to wait outside and I'll help clean this up. I'll take care of this. I absolutely encourage anyone listening to this. If you fancy a change of pace, if you're thinking about a different kind of profession to go into, it pays like shit, and the job is like shit, and you certainly deal with a lot of shit. But it's there really is nothing like healthcare, and it really is a profession where you really are helping people, especially at the bottom rung. As you go higher up, you get into jobs where you're you're not really so much helping people as you are managing systems and other people. And I mean, I'm a receptionist now, so it's not like I'm doing it anymore. But I really absolutely would encourage looking into that. It really is something else. And as much of like an anxiety hellhole nightmare working at the Nightingale was, it really gave you a good feeling of that sort of intimacy with working with your community, and also helped just kind of drive home how much of a goddamn socialist I am. All right, sorry about that. Just a little tangent to talk about me for a while.
No, that's fine. That's
Don't apologize for telling us good stuff.
Yeah,
Stop it.
People can help each other and stuff. I have to say, the fifth Matt just gave $1,000 to Campaign for Southern Equality, which is fucking incredible. So thank you so much. $1,000,
amazing.
We need to get gender intelligence up to 16K, by the way, because we have Good Law Project at 16. Now we have Campaign for Southern Equality at 17, and gender intelligence is at 15,800. So we can easily get gender intelligence up to 16K, at the very least. At the very least. So chat, pull it together. Retweet tweets. Go on my Twitter, retweet any of the tweets. Go find any of the hosts, retweet their shit. Get people here. This is the last day. Let's pull through. I'm tired. Far more tired than any of you, I guarantee you.
You're doing well.
Well, Laura, also, thank you so much for the raid. I didn't know you were streaming this whole time.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I was streaming to a very small number of people, and I got a big raid, and I was like, no, this isn't my thing. I'm going to raid Kira instantly.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, welcome all the raiders. Yeah, we're doing a big trans fundraiser. We're raising money for 3 trans organizations. Wait, how do I... Three trans organizations.
Yeah.
And they're all really, really critical trans organizations, providing really critical like advocacy for trans rights and trans kids. And so this is the 3rd day of our fundraisers. 4 streams are collaborating to do this across 3 continents. Like, it's a big deal. So if you have money at all, get $1, $3, $5, $10, $20, like, please donate to one of these fantastic organizations. They're all really, really good. They're all really important. This one in particular needs more money because we're trying to make these all even with each other, all even bars. So yeah.
It's only £160. I mean, now our goal is 17,000 for all of them. So if somebody's got 1,000 to drop on Good Law and Gendered Intelligence, that'd be great, because we need, as Kira says, all the bars need to be even. All the bars need to be even, and that one at the bottom, a little bit bigger now.
I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember anymore.
I just realized they're all in different currency.
The top one's a different currency, but we're ignoring that for the purpose of this. Yeah.
Good old sterling.
Sterling. But thank you, Laura, for the raid. That was super sweet of you. Thank you.
I'm fine streaming to like 10, 20 people of my own, but I got a massive raid, and I just thought, no, this isn't my thing. I'm not part of Red. In fact, Kira, for the people that raided in, can you tell us what Red Planet is? You're one of the hosts, because this is a Red Planet Trans Power fundraiser. What is Red Planet?
So Red Planet is the logo here. Red Planet is a group of streamers. It's me, Sylvie from Mars, Conquest of Dread, and DJ Mule, who are all participating in this fundraiser right now. But Red Planet is the name of our team. We do a show every single Sunday for about 3 hours in the afternoon. You can find the details below. !Red Planets if you need the info again. And basically, we do a show that assumes a certain number of things from the audience. That you agree that capitalism has failed. It is still decaying around us, but it has failed. You also agree that communism is coming. And so now you're watching Red Planet because you want to help get there. Because it is inevitable that with the collapse of capitalism will come eventually a communist system. But we need to make sure that we're taking care of each other along the way. That we're actually like proactively creating the world that we want to live in. And not waiting for, the world to literally cook itself, which is what's happening. And hoping that whoever's left will we gotta be aggressive and proactive about creating a better world, and no more of this just waiting for someone we voted for to maybe do a nice thing for us, or maybe just waiting for things to get so bad that you hope collectively everyone will just wake up and be like, oh, we should make something better. Like, we have to make it. We have to make it. We have to. So that's what Red Planet's about. It's a show that we like have every Sunday where this is the basic premise of it, but we have a different guest on every Sunday. We talk about different ways that you can like create a better world today. And like it helps to like we're trying to get people to organize and mobilize and to fight for each and every one of our rights and all of our liberation. It sounds like a really big like umbrella, but like it kind of is, because that's what's going to take to be able to create a better world for everybody. So yeah, like for instance, we give people actionables. Like the first episode we had, the homework we gave chat was to join a union, and I want to say like most of you did. So a lot of you joined the IWW, which is great. We've had other homework where just like meet your neighbor and exchange numbers, things like that. Or you know things like that. So it's very like active, like living according to your values, actually proactively trying to create a better world today. Because like I said, that is necessarily what we have to do. And this idea that we sit back and we just post about how horrible the world is, and then magically if enough people post horrible, oh, I hate this shit, that things will get better. That's not literally how it's going to work. I don't know who gave us this idea, but it's not going to work like that. So we have to create a better world today. And what my friend Bellamy, who was just in this chat or in this voice chat, was saying was like the rewards of doing this. It's not just like, oh God, I'm gonna have to make a better world. Like it is extremely fulfilling to do this. And like we were saying slightly earlier, all of us are kind of fucking miserable. I don't think anyone right now is like, I'm genuinely happy. And if they are saying that, I think they're probably like some kind of a monster, because like, no, how could you be? How could you be when you must be oblivious, or I don't know what kind of person this is that would be like, no, I'm not miserable. So I'm saying like, we're all missing this component, and we need to work together to make a better world. And it's possible that we don't have to be miserable. We can actually not only not be miserable, but be joyful. And this is why Red Planet's doing today's fundraiser. We've been doing this for the past 3 days, raising money for these 3 fantastic organizations that are promoting trans rights across the world. And for what we were saying earlier was like, we're not just trying to get trans rights. We're trying to advocate for trans power, trans joy. This is all about like actually doing shit directly, direct action, directly getting your hands dirty, because it cuts out that alienation, and it allows you to actually live according to your values. There's something very, very powerful about that. There's something very healing about that. So yeah, that's Red Planet every Sunday. It's at 2 p.m. Central Time to 5 p.m. So it's a 3-hour show on this channel. Normally on like I said, every Sunday, and normally it would be on right now, but like this is the end of our 3-day fundraiser. It's the Red Planet fundraiser. So if you're here for Red Planet, this is the show. It's just the end of a 3-day show for Red Planet this weekend.
Oh, 3 hours, 3 days. Can I just say thank you to Ruby True for the £50 donation to Gendered Intelligence.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, £250 for the Good Law Project.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you.
The Good Law Project is on its
much.
way. The Good Law Project is on its way to £17,000, $17,000.
Mm-hmm.
Gendered Intelligence needs £94 to go up to 16. Everything needs to be 16. We're trying to get everything to 17. I know you can do it, chat. As Kira was saying, this isn't just about trans rights. It's not just about, oh, let's do something. It's about trying to empower trans joy, which is fucking rare. It's fucking absolutely so rare. And also for trans children.
Mm-hmm.
Let's safeguard children. Let's give children who might be trans, who are trans, the best opportunity to not go through the wrong puberty, to not be given the wrong information, to have a life that could be absolutely full of joy and euphoria. And actually, it probably wouldn't be joy. It wouldn't be full of joy and euphoria. It would just be what is, quote and unquote, a normal life, because they won't have the dysphoria growing up, going through the wrong puberty. So they won't have that experience euphoria. They can just be normal as who they are, truly.
Mm-hmm.
So please, if you're umming and ahhing and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll save some money for a couple of beers for next weekend, or I want to go out with my friend to have a nice meal. Maybe you just go somewhere that's a bit cheaper and you give one of these charities £10 or £20. It's
Just
almost
go to
payday,
Spoons.
It'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. Go to Spoons. Go to
It costs
Weatherspoons.
nothing.
It'll be fine. Just please, I can't, as one of the trans people on this call, and as one of the trans people that are really behind Kira and Sophie from Mars and everybody Red Planet, please give some money to Gendered Intelligence and Good Law Project. Let's get all of these up to 16 and 17, please.
And by the way, as selfishly, it feels fucking good to not just give, but it feels good to like give in a way that is like aligning with your values to like contribute. And it's for something like what we were talking earlier, I was just saying earlier about like that feeling you get. I know Bellamy did a great job elaborating on it. It's a feeling of like fulfillment that like we're all miserable because we're not having that. We're all suffering in an atomized way. We might be talking about suffering, but we're not like besides connecting, oh yeah, we're all suffering. We're not like actually working together. This is working together and cutting out that like atomization, that separation we all are miserable over, but that's what's happening. We're all miserable over this alienation that we all feel from the food we eat, the people we know, or even like the people that we interact with that we don't really even know. You know, we there's so much separation, and this is connecting and actually like sacrificing something of yours for someone that you will never meet probably. And there's something really powerful about what that does to a motherfucker.
Absolutely.
100%.
And there's one way to solve that, chat, and it's to give your money right now. Listen, Kira might bottle the show once an hour, and that's what like street performers call like asking for money at the end of a performance. I'm gonna bottle this show constantly. I'm gonna shake the bottle until we get to 16. I don't care. I want your money, not for me. I've asked Kira for 0% of this, which is very generous, I think. We're raising money
Thank you very much.
for the children. What? Come on. But the children want the healthcare. Come on.
Also,
Quite
What are we up
literally
to with
putting it
the
anywhere your
beard
mouth is.
thing?
sorry.
Pardon?
I just said what are we up to with the beard thing.
I
The
don't know.
yeah.
mule shave,
Check Mule
shaveroo.
Street. Yeah, so if you put save the beard or shave the beard, or you just write the word save or shave in your message for for your donation, that money will be tallied up as either DJ Mule shaves his beard or DJ Mule saves his beard. Right now it's a competition. So when the end of this fundraiser is when like the deadline is, I think it might be like a really close race, or I forget. I mean it's ongoing, so. But if you want your donation, because they're going to tally up amounts, it's not by donation number, it's by donation amounts. So one $100 donation is worth the same amount in the save or shave as 100 $1 donations. Okay, so put save or shave in your message if you want to participate. But like I would say put shave, because that's obviously going to be like the funnier one, because his beard is like so nice and thick. So like we can like let him keep it.
It is a
He's
glory.
hiding
like,
under
why'd
there.
you shave? Like, well, we had this huge trans fundraiser and blah, 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 blah. See?
It's a glorious beard. It's
It
glorious.
is a really nice beard.
It is a very nice
So let's get rid of it.
Yeah, shave it off.
We should have caveated it
I wanna
where
know-
shave means he has to go down to like a stupid looking goatee or something.
Oh, that would have been great.
Oh, that is cruel.
A reverse goatee.
A reverse goatee with sideburns.
Yikes.
I think he'd rock a handlebar mustache.
Oh, I guess that is a reverse goatee. Yeah, I think he'd look alright with that.
Anyways.
Maybe we should specify shaving it off in phases. So like mutton chops and mustache, and then finishing with a mustache and like documenting the whole process.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And the only way we'll even have a chance at that is if people donate and put shave or shave the beard, you can do the long version in your donation message. Otherwise, this conversation's all for naught. So I'm trying to speak like you British people.
Streamer
All
chat.
for naught.
Sorry, what?
Spoons!
What
Just
do
go to Spoons. The
A
fucking
skinny.
spoon.
Okay,
Hey, when I
realize
said
Dick-
that, the chat lit up for the first time in like an hour. Like everyone's spamming it.
Sorry, I didn't realize Dick Van Dyke was on the call.
What was that? Is that?
Oh, Mary Poppins, should we go to Spoons?
Can we go to Spoons?
Mary Poppins.
Listen, Spoons is great. Actually, no, I don't think it is great. Isn't the owner of it a bit of a dickhead?
Yeah, he's a massive Brexiteer, but
Tosser.
one of the biggest hospitality employees in the UK, and if you're talking about like being able to go out on a British evening of just getting really drunk, great for lower socioeconomic backgrounds because it's dirt cheap. And
It's
actually,
really good for food.
Weatherspoons,
Yeah.
without Weatherspoons, there would be so many people from a lower socioeconomic background that would be excluded from nightlife and the nightlife economy. So actually, it's dodgy. You like Spoons, but you don't like Spoons. And I tell you what I like. Thank you, Spoons. I tell you what I like when people donate money, and I like it especially when it goes to gendered intelligence, because I tell you what, gendered intelligence are great, right? So there is a charity called Mermaids in the UK who specifically deal with trans young people and kids. Gendered intelligence do all ages. However, gendered intelligence, like Mermaids, are like the attractive charity that get loads of money. Their branding is amazing. They have deals with they have like tie-ups with Starbucks and all this. Like they're everywhere.
Oh, they were the H bomber guy
anybody-
one, weren't they?
Yeah. If anybody wants to, if any organization in the UK wants to be seen like they're supporting trans people, they team up with Mermaids, right? But gendered intelligence work incredibly hard. They do incredibly good work in the UK. I know lots of trans people that have been helped by gendered intelligence, and they do it for all ages, not just for kids, but they do a lot of work with kids and young people, and they do a lot of work with Trans Joy. And please give them money. They deserve everything that you can give them. They're so good. And we want to get them to 16. We want everybody to be on those purple lines on Kira's screen right now. Need to be the same, and yeah, they look the same, but they're not. They're not. We know that.
Unfortunately, we had to create these bars in such a way that the changes are much harder to notice, like the difference between them. However,
Three baby raccoons in a tree. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Finally hit 16K. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
so
3
much.
baby raccoons in a tree. Thank you for the 18 pounds or
Aw.
85 pounds. 85
When I
pounds.
said
Thank
that,
you.
did you think I was just having a seizure?
How did they get up there?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Little baby.
But
little
now,
baby
Gendered
paws.
Intelligence and the Good Law Project need to be at 17 to match the campaign for Southern Equality. So don't
Thank you,
stop, chat.
Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, yay!
Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I heard we were going to Spoons.
Okay.
Ain't it?
We're
Oh my
going
god,
to Spoons.
Chloe's here.
Chloe,
I did say if we get gendered intelligence to 16, I'd hop on, so I had to do it.
Hello,
Said I-
Chloe.
Get Spoons. Hello.
How
And I
you
gotta
doing?
order
Hello.
chopped cheese. Hey, can I get fucking chopped cheese
yeah!
here? Can I get no fucking no fucking cheese? Why the fuck do you think I'm a fucking vegan? Get that shit out of here!
Hey,
Oh my God,
I'm walking here. I'm a vegan.
I'm walking here.
I'm a vegan walking here.
I don't want to step on no animals. I'm a vegan. I'm walking here.
I'm tippy-toeing around an ant farm. I'm a vegan.
Take that leather handbag away from me. I'm a vegan.
Before anyone thinks I'm making fun of vegans, I am vegan. Come at me.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
we
rude.
are.
Yeah, what? Whatever.
I am making fun of vegans, aka you.
That's not very nice. I don't like this anymore.
Oz.
Oh, my butt is killing me. Oh, my butt
And
is
of,
killing me.
and of course, if you're in New York, you gotta get a fucking everything bagel with some schmear.
So- Does that mean that we're getting East Coast Kira for 16,000 for everybody now?
No.
Why?
I just
East
did East
Coast
Coast
Kira.
Kira. That's all I
No,
know.
for a
Hey,
whole
I'm walking
stream.
here.
For a whole stream. You have to dress like you're from Jersey Shore.
Thanks, Jamo.
Like a t-shirt with some rips in and some
What
like jean
about
rips in or something, and like a backwards cap. Is that what they look like on the Jersey Shore? I don't know.
We've got our own knockoff version, haven't we? Geordie Shore.
Now,
Any-
see, it depends on what part of the East Coast, right? If you're in New York City, you gotta get your Tims, you gotta get your Timberland boots, Tims as we call it. You gotta get the backwards cap.
So annoying.
What?
How much of this do you have, Kira?
What? What? I don't
Do
understand.
you have Timberland boots?
I have boots that are they sort of look ish
Right.
like Timberland, barely, but they,
So you've
Same
got the
thing.
shoe.
rubber
So you've got the
sole,
shoe.
lace
What else?
up, blah blah blah.
They're like work boots, like brown work boots.
I know what Timberlands are.
I'm telling
You
other
said do I
people.
oh, okay.
Chloe splaining Tim's.
So Chloe, Kira's got the boots. What else does Kira need for this whole street being from
Well,
the East Coast?
especially for like a woman, definitely leggings.
Oh, Kira's got leggings. That's fine.
Oh, definitely. Backwards cap.
Oh, do you have a cap, Kira?
Yeah, I do have a cap, yeah.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
trying to
the
get
cake
obtained one
owner
too.
cap.
And what on top? What on top, Chloe?
Good question. Honestly, what she's wearing now, pretty close.
Really?
Pretty fucking close.
Yeah,
Actually,
New
I'm about to
York
change.
women wear like button ups a lot.
Oh, okay. Actually, like, I might change because I can't like just splay my legs out in the way that I do apparently. Because I'm like, why does my ass hurt so much? Oh yeah, because I can't just like do my regular weird ass positions. So I might have to change and put some pants on or something.
That's okay.
Button
You
ups or
can
tank
change.
tops, yeah. Yeah, tank top too. Those are also popular.
Oh, speaking of ass hurting, streamer, have you done any workout streams since you moved to Chicago?
No, I don't have I don't have
Detroit.
the workout stuff.
Oh no!
She keeps not adding it to her wish list.
Because I haven't like gotten. I've been busy, y'all. I've been
It's
busy.
So just telling
It's
her to dress like a
okay.
lesbian. Well, that's the thing, Pinklin. New York City aesthetic just ripped off lesbians. Like
Really?
modern
Understood.
fashion ripped off a lot. Like skinny jeans were a lesbian thing before they were a mainstream thing.
It's true. They popularized it.
Huh.
We came and stole it. I can only wear skinny jeans, by the way. It's the only kind of pants I wear.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't wear
Skinny
anything
jeans
else.
are amazing.
What's there other than skinny jeans? Really? Like with Jinkos? Like what other
I
like are
don't
we talking
know.
about like a baggy pants? Like what other
Boot
kind
cut.
of Yeah, I
Boot cut,
guess.
straight leg, where there's
Flares.
What kind of jeans does Husker wear? You
I
think
can
Yeah,
see
Husker,
Husker
what
in
do you wear?
cargo shorts.
Oscar wears chaps.
Husker
not
wears
wear
chaps.
I'll say on.
No,
Love that for
Huskers
him.
just
short
south of
shorts.
New York, so no, Husker doesn't wear chaps.
Husker says he wears boot cut.
That is very Husker. I can't explain it, but
I
that
feel like
does feel like
Husker
a
will
Husker
wear
No,
move.
no, Husker
cargo
wears straight
jeans.
leg.
He would wear cargo jeans.
And he spelled jeans wrong.
Straight leg jeans.
Biological
Husker
trousers.
got a letter wrong. Ah.
Couple letters
everyone point
wrong.
Laugh at Husker.
Ha ha.
Ha ha.
Husker
You made an
City.
error and people witnessed it. Ha ha. This is not an even playing field because you're in the chat and I have a mic. Ha ha. Point and laugh at the guy in the chat.
The Husker does have access to just join. Uh-oh.
That's
Oh,
true,
no.
but
He
My
did
pants look
pop
good,
on
though.
Oh,
last night to
Husker, I'm
tell the
sorry.
story of how he played his first D&D game in college and got absolutely destroyed.
Oh.
They rolled his dead body like a mile away in game. They
no,
killed him, stole his
Husker.
money.
Oh no, Husker.
Husker, what was your little dead character called?
Yeah, your little dead character.
What was the little dead name?
Oh.
Be something like Malfucius.
Oh my
Felix?
god. Yeah, it's gotta be something weird.
Felix.
Wait, Lachuk, do you ever play D&D with the chatters?
I don't. I've never played D&D before. I really want
It's
to.
probably
chat
too
with
late
Felix.
for...
When
Oh,
you,
me
are you all
either,
starting a
Lord.
new campaign soon? Ever?
In a few months, we're still in our Curse of Strahd, and then the next one, I'm going to be DMing.
Hmm. Oh, because wait,
I
who's
just want-
DMing right now?
Dev,
Oh.
and then Iron was before that.
I just want to roleplay as a little sentient sword, like a little talking sword, with like a little IIR face on, and like someone else wields me around and stuff. And I make like witty little comments.
Can you talk when you're sheathed?
Yeah, but it's
You're like,
muffled. It's like.
That's a really cute.
I sound like I'm joking, but I like wrote up a whole homebrew like little idea for it.
See,
Like
it's
me and whoever wields me does like rolls together, and the closer our rolls are to each other is like how in sync we are and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's adorable.
Yeah, and like as I spend more time with somebody, like there's like a margin for error that gets wider. So I don't know. I thought it'd be a nice idea.
Someone said,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank you, Riva, for giving $20 to the Good Law Project. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Sorry, I partook in a little bit of the devil's lettuce, so I'm feeling a little
Oh, no.
unmotivated to really do anything right now.
Wait, what?
I said lettuce. I ate some lettuce.
Yeah. She shared some lettuce with little Samba.
Just vegans being vegan.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just vegan things you wouldn't understand.
Okay.
I'm bankrupt until payday, and it's pretty difficult.
Dang girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, now I understand what you're talking about. Okay.
Wait, did you know
Glad.
before?
No, I'm very innocent.
Okay,
No,
so
I've definitely not
wait,
run
do
out of any
do
illegal
Brits not know
substances.
devil's lettuce?
Yeah, they probably do.
I mean, I did.
I'm just very innocent. Okay?
Yeah, but Lautrec, you were here when we watched oh my god, what's that called? Reefer
Reefer
Madness,
Madness.
which was
Reefer
American,
Madness.
That movie is
I
weird.
remember that.
literally paid for by the US government.
It's not even about weed. Like it's
It
weed's in
really
it, but the
isn't.
most of the movie is about like the really boring yet persistent like relationship problems, and then there's like weed in like a couple. Like, am I misremembering it, or is like weed like not in most scenes?
No, I remember
Well,
this being a thing about it.
It played into the end where like the weed made him a violent man and he murdered somebody.
Do you think
I feel
maybe
like I
like
should remember this but the last time I watched that movie, I was so fucking high.
do you think maybe like the initial
How
version
could
of it,
you?
it was like a regular sort of they'd come up with a regular script, but
Maybe
then they couldn't
purchased it and
like
were like, let's incorporate weed in this somehow.
yeah, whoever like did some deal with them to get it made were like, okay, but you've got to put in this big thing about weed, so they had to like shoehorn in this weed element at the
Oh my
last
God.
minute.
Probably, absolutely, that's what happened.
I don't know. Did it convince anyone to not smoke weed? Did anybody watch that and think, my god?
Well, that was made like in the what 50s, 60s, and it's how popular nowadays. So I don't think it worked.
We won in the end.
It convinced me to smoke more.
Yeah, cause like shortly after Reefer Madness came out, the hippies existed. So
True.
And we
I'm
all
kinda
know that
dickhead.
also weed does make you become the aggressive and like other and
Yeah,
murder and other things that require you to get up. That's extremely what weed is.
and
what
then,
I really
and then,
love. Go on, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then immediately after, when Nixon got into office, ran a report and tried to peddle the exact opposite. It makes you lazy and read books and turn into a
Oh
communist.
no, not reading
that was
books.
literally, yeah, that was literally their concern under Nixon.
Makes you read books and not watch television.
They'll read books and become communists.
My favorite,
That's why it needs to be illegal.
weird government thing about weed was the sort of scare that that at Halloween you were people were putting like weed into children's like sweets that they were giving them and stuff like
Do
that.
they say that? It's like that
Like,
was always
they
so
still
urban
say
legend.
that.
I
Yeah,
thought they just
they're
did the
putting
needle
drugs in
or a
there.
razor blade in like a Snickers bar or something.
Right,
like that.
the razor blade thing's one. Like that's one thing. But like, why would anyone with any drugs ever waste any of those drugs giving them to children? Like, are
Yeah.
you kidding?
No
You
one can
think,
give free drugs out
yeah,
to
free
children.
drugs, child. That I paid a
don't
lot of money for, and now you get it. Like, fuck off.
I'm gonna go ahead and make it dark. I think it was actually it was a scare based on one isolated incident wherein a parent poisoned their own child. And then
Holy.
it took off from there, and people were like, "Oh, they're putting like drugs and poison in the candy," but it was
That's so interesting that you said that, because before I've complained about how there's so many like government programs always like they frame the stranger as like the number one threat to children, like stranger danger, or like if it's like a stranger touches you in a weird way, or if a stranger like wants it, like all the I don't know if I'm talking to some British people right now, so I understand that we're not coming from the same exact kind of like background here. But in America, the emphasis on the stranger being the number one threat to kids through like abductions and shit is like ingrained. Like it's a big part of like I think white society. Really, I don't want to think. I think it's like a real white society thing. And it's interesting because it's exactly the opposite. The number one threat to kids is like parents and like their own family and like the people they interact with every day. So like it's interesting that you said that the origin of what I'm assuming like the poison in like candy thing is like a parent, and it fits perfectly in what my suspicion was before about this whole program, that it's like kind of actually like terrifying how consistently it's not actually strangers, and it's like, who designed this? Like, what's their what? Are they like trying to like make kids more vulnerable to them? Like, I'm like, sorry, I'm like I said,
Also,
I had a little bit of devil's
that's a
lettuce,
good point.
I'm
That's a good point.
What the fuck?
The stranger aspect as well of stranger danger, like that stranger normally has a very specific race. Like it's not just any stranger. Like, what do you know?
Well, you almost wonder how much of it goes back to the xenophobia at the center of American culture, like, or specifically white American culture, because it is that like that attitude that oh, they're coming for you. Who's they? Well, whoever we tell you it is. It's this. It's glorifying the sort of paternalistic mentality that sort of gives the American government control over people, and vilifying the other. And we see that it's I don't know how much they're explicitly connected, like this fear of strangers in general, and fear of groups that are considered out groups, but I wouldn't be surprised if those two mentalities are very, very closely intertwined, because if it's not people of color, it's like it's queer people right now, it's trans people. Trans people are the scary other, so
Yeah, it's what I talk about quite a lot. Like 9/11, after 9/11, it was Muslims for a decade.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, it was all immigrants, especially in the UK. It was all immigrants.
Oh, yeah, it still is.
It was but it was like it went from Muslims to just every immigrant, and that's what really fueled Brexit. And now we're at the next taboo, or not even the next taboo, but we're now trans people for the last 5 years, or 4 or 5 years especially.
Joe, you got a point there, actually. After Brexit, we've kind of pivoted a little bit. That was kind of like the bit where we were like, all right, we did Brexit. We've now for the next minority.
Funny? It's like, each of these groups has existed forever, but like now we're going down the line. Like, okay, now this one's a danger, and then everyone else has to be like made aware that they definitely exist and become like afraid of them. It feels like for the first time, and it's like, what do you think was happening before? Like, do you think that like it's not like they just were landed on Earth and now they're a threat? Like, or presumably a threat.
Like, we've been doing the LGBT thing for so long, and now motherfuckers coming around here with the LGB drop the T shit, like we just added the T or something. Like y'all have been saying it for like 20 odd years.
And it's
like trans people haven't always been at the center of the queer rights movement.
Yeah.
Oh no, of course.
Look, we know who threw the first brick. We know. Yeah, it's fine. We all know this, but like, and the reason I always talk about like the last 20 years of how the hate has moved, because it's the way the ruling class does it. It's like, let's find the enemy that is scary to people, or let's find the easiest minority to make people scared of. So obviously after 9/11, you've got it is scary. It's inherently scary. But then it's like, okay, when that's not ever present in people's minds, oh, well, are you a bit poor at the moment? Well, that's immigrants, isn't it? Because they're taking your jobs, and like they're taking 3 of your jobs, and blah 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 blah. And now that's not really scary anymore, because it's been completely like shattered apart, and actually people are waking up to it. But also now Brexit's done in the UK, it's like, okay, well, that isn't scaring people anymore because apparently we sorted that. So now we need another enemy. We need something to scare Middle England or Middle America to get scared of. So then we can go, yeah. Like if I asked everybody in chat, we should protect women and girls, shouldn't we? Everybody would say yes. Of course we should protect women and girls. And then it's like, bang, yeah. So trans people, they're really scary, and we're gonna protect you from them. We will protect you. And it's like, no, bitch, no, you don't need to be. No, that not. But it works. It
No, it
works
does.
really well. It works really efficiently.
It plays on
And
them fears.
yeah, that's why news is ever popular, and that's why news is always negative, because people are drawn to it. That they want to feel like somebody's looking after them, even if actually they're not. And it's fucking sad, fucking
I
scary.
actually think it's a really interesting theory that when people give you bad news, it's almost like a weird, like it makes a weird maybe connection in your brain to like, I'm being cared for.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's wild.
I mean,
Especially as the
definitely plays.
media in this country is so fucked as well. like our whole media system is just
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, the clearest thing is the Times in 2019 published 382, I think is the number. I think it might be 384 articles about trans people. Not one of them written by a trans person.
yeah, of course.
And
No,
that's
it's just
mad.
fucking.
Laura, did you see?
Sorry, go on.
Did you see Sophie's BBC speech?
I did.
Okay, yeah.
it was so
She
good.
talks about. It's so good. She talks so much about so much of like what you talk about, but specifically, yeah, she highlights. I didn't know it was that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really like. I'm still not as connected as trans people are to this stuff, and this is like why I'm really feel fortunate to be a part of this. It's like a lot of these stories that y'all are telling me are making it painfully clear how much I have not been like doing nearly enough as a cis person to like help, like I'm like, okay, I'll be involved when I feel but like I didn't know the BBC was so overwhelmingly like fucking transphobic, like rapid fire like machine gunning articles that are just smearing trans people every fucking day.
Yeah, I mean, so some insider baseball, the BBC that I used to work for, the BBC are like it's really funny because the funding is obviously by license fee, so it's a tax on everybody. The government doesn't have direct control, but the government hires the government hires the director general who is in control, and the government always is constantly threatening to revoke the license fee to make them a commercial broadcaster instead of it being a non-advertised supported service. And I have seen, and everybody has seen, Broadcasting House, which is like where Sophie spoke outside of, new Broadcasting House on the piazza outside. You will see the change of people that went in there, and if you stand outside there, the only cool people. So Radio 1 is like the youth. Radio 1 and 1 Extra are the youth radio networks of the BBC. They have like 7-8 radio channels. That's national. There are loads of local channels. The national, most of the national channels come out of Broadcasting House. Radio 1 and 1 Extra are at the top floor. My swanky studios, they're lovely. But they're the only cool people that walk in that building. That building hosts like, I think it's like 12,000 desks. I think it's about that. They're all blue shirts. They're all blue, and not just because it's blue for the color Tory. They all wear literal blue shirts. They're boring motherfuckers who want to just like get their head down, knuckle down, and get a good job. And the problem with the BBC is it has this culture of like, you've got a job for life. If you have a contract at the BBC, if you're under contract with them, full-time employed, they will never fire you. Like if you made redundant, you're going to get a massive payout. And actually, with the downsizing the BBC is going to have to do with the cuts that are going to come to the license fee, there's going to be not compulsory but voluntary redundancies. There's going to be a massive. There's going to be the government are going to have to pay millions, if not not billions, but millions to get people out of their jobs, so then it can save money. And because it has this culture of just like, we'll get people, and everybody hires their mates in. It's all fucking middle class, well-to-do white people at the BBC. There were, and it's only at like the youth networks, like Radio 1, 1 Extra, BBC 3, actually bring people of color in, actually bring in like disabled people, queer people. The rest of it, it's really interesting, but the BBC is so fucked. And because the Director General is a government appointee, that's where the BBC is so transphobic, because it follows the government's agenda. And like the news editor will, because they don't want to cause too much trouble. They don't want to cause too many waves, because they want their career jobs for life. It's a very cushy. If you're in there, it's lovely. If you're in the BBC and you're not sticking your head above the parapet, it's great. Like, there are so many levels of management at the BBC, it's unbelievable. When Jonathan, I'm going a bit of a rant. When Jonathan Ross and Russell Brand called an actor, and he was supposed to be on a pre-recorded radio show, and and he didn't answer, so they left a voice message, and they did it a few times as like a joke, and then Jonathan Ross said, "Oh, and Russell fucked your granddaughter," on this voice note. That was a whole thing. It was a big controversy. The government spoke about it. It was in all the press. It was called Saxgate, because it was the guy that played Manuel in Only Fools and Horses. Sorry, 40 Towers. Sorry, Manuel.
Was it Russell Brand that said that? Was it?
It was Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross.
I am so lost, by the way. This is so British. I'm just like, all these.
Well, no, there was a big controversy. It doesn't really matter. The point is, they introduced so many regulations about, well, if a piece of audio is more than 15 minutes, it has to get approved by 2 different executive producers. So all the producers were making audio that was like 14 minutes, 59 seconds long, and just stitching it together. But it added so many layers of management. They hire so many people for boring shit like compliance. And all these people have full-term, like, life jobs. The BBC is always considered like a life job, and it's now full of Tories, because the government appoints somebody at the top. They say, okay, well, I'm going to get my mates in, and then they do that going down the tree, and it's trickling down, and now it's just full of Tories that work there.
When you go all the way to the top of media, like, it's all the same dudes. Like they all went to Eton, and it's the same ones that are in the government as well. It's just the same like little like collection of people, and and then when a very certain politician comes along that may just threaten those media structures, it's almost like they're all in a big unified front to just outwardly lie about them. And you wonder how these things can come about, and it's because at the very top, it's all just these same fuckers.
Yeah.
Even if it's not literally the same guy, it is basically the same guy. Just like,
yeah, they all went to school together. Like, it's unbelievable.
And the irony is about it being the same guy. I think I know 15 really high-profile people in radio, all called Matt.
There you go.
They're always called fucking Matt.
Matt is a bit of a Tory, Nick. Like, sorry to all the Matts in chat.
It is. If you're called Matthew, you're probably a Tory.
If we've offended you, please donate. Right, listen, it's 10 o'clock for me, and I am in work tomorrow, so I'm going to have to dip. I just wanted to say it has been an absolute pleasure, Kira, and an honour. And I've loved to be here with you, and also everyone else who's been here. Thank you so much for accommodating me and having me here.
Well, thank you for coming on. I know it's like scary as a chatter coming on to like a stream in front of everyone and having to talk about something extraordinarily
I'm just a little chatter.
Just a little chatter.
Oh God, I'm really sorry of when everyone who's heard my voice today, who reads my messages in chat. I'm sorry if you had a really cute idea of what my voice sounds like, and I've had to bring the reality to you.
I really like your voice.
You have a cute voice, yeah.
You shush.
I've enjoyed listening to you talk.
Oh my God, you have actually really fantastic voice. Like, it's weird that you're not in some sort of broadcasting, to be honest with you.
No, little old
it's
me.
very
no,
it sounds like you do this for a living, like this type of thing. So
Oh well, I'm glad I at least sound the part because I've been my anxiety's been up and down this whole time. I've just been kind of
Oh,
like,
you've done such a good job. And by the way, what's going to happen right now is when you step away, you're going to think about all the things that it's going to magnify in your head, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Just know that everyone does that, and it really like it. That's just like a thing that naturally happens when you're doing the thing that you're doing. And trust me, it's all in your head. It literally is just all in your head. Don't worry about it.
oh,
You
thank
did
you.
a great
Well,
job. Wonderful job.
I already spent the past hour thinking like, oh god, I cut Bellamy off. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You gotta stop that. Like, you're fine. You're 100% fine.
Lotrick,
Okay.
you were a fucking star and a delight to listen to. And the only
Oh.
complaint I have is that you kept apologizing every time you said anything.
Oh,
Yep.
I nearly did it again. Oh,
Yeah,
well, thank you so much. Thank you so
The
much,
classic
everyone.
apologizing for apologizing.
Everyone say butt clap for Lotrick. Thank you, Lotrick, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lautrec.
We love
Thank you so. And go and subscribe to my YouTube, youtube.com/fucking Lautrec, youtube.com/fucking Lautrec, youtube.com/fucking Lautrec. All right, thank you very much.
Was that youtube.com/fucking Lautrec?
Fucking
Also,
Lautrec, that's right.
exclamation point Lautrec in the chat will pull up a very cute video.
that Lotrick made for me.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do have the little exclamation. Yeah, it's my favorite command. It's my name. All right, thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.